Have you ever found yourself stepping into shoes that felt, well, just a little too big? Maybe a new role at work or taking over a team, maybe even a hobby where the person before you was, legendary. That feeling, that immense pressure to live up to whatever came before, maybe even replicate it exactly, it can be pretty suffocating, right? You're not just starting out, you're kind of starting in someone else's shadow. Okay, so let's unpack this a bit. Today, we're doing a deep dive into a really profound piece of wisdom from our source material, Forge Your Own Path.
Mm.
And it tackles this exact challenge head on. It gives us this very clear, almost defiant instruction: don't follow a legend's shadow. But crucially, it doesn't just stop there, it tells us what we should do instead.
That's right. What's so compelling here, I think, is that this isn't just some, catchy phrase you'd put on a poster. It's really a foundational principle. It touches on effective leadership, genuine innovation, and definitely sustained personal growth. It gets right to the core of how we build on past successes without letting them sort of smother our own potential. It really calls for a sophisticated understanding, doesn't it? How to honor a legacy, but still assert your own unique vision. And this isn't just theory. It has very, very practical implications for, well, anyone stepping into a significant role.
That's a really powerful distinction you're making there. So, our mission today, then, is to explore what it truly means to not just, inherit a legacy, but to actively forge your own path. Even when, maybe especially when the person you're following is truly great. We'll look at the subtle traps, the huge benefits, and frankly, the sheer courage it takes for you to make your own indelible mark. Okay, let's start by really dissecting that first part. Don't follow a legend's shadow.
Mhm.
What exactly is this shadow? And it feels like more than just the memory of past glory, right? What kind of pressure, what expectations does it cast? How does it actually show up for someone new coming in?
That's a critical question because the shadow, well, it's incredibly multifaceted. I mean, on the surface, sure, it's the weight of their achievements, the scale of what they built or accomplished, impressive stuff. But if we look at the bigger picture, the shadow isn't just the person, it's the whole ecosystem around them. It's the entrenched expectations, the constant comparisons, that powerful inertia of, well, this is how we've always done things. It includes their specific ways of working, the culture they build, their style, and yeah, the almost impossibly high bar for comparison. And a key challenge here, I think, is separating the legend's methods, the specific things they did, from their underlying genius. The core insights that really drove their success. People often try to copy the methods, thinking that's the secret sauce, and that can be a significant trap.
Oh, I can totally see that. It's not just them, it's the whole atmosphere, the system that grew up around them. And you can absolutely feel it, can't you? Like, imagine taking over a super popular podcast. The old host had a signature intro, a certain laugh, a specific interview style. You might feel this huge pressure to mimic every single detail instead of finding your own voice. That sounds exhausting, frankly.
Yeah.
And ultimately, it stops your own authentic contribution from coming through. Which brings us right to the second part, the more active piece of advice from Forge Your Own Path. If you take over from someone great, make your own path. Now, someone might argue, hey, if their path was so successful, why not just follow it? It's safe, it's efficient. So why is that often a trap, even if it seems to work for a bit? Why is making your own path presented as a mandate, not just, an option?
That's an excellent point. And it can certainly feel safer, can't it? Just retracing those successful steps. But that's precisely where the danger lies. The cost of not making your own path, it's incredibly high if you think long term. It almost always leads to stagnation and a real failure to adapt. Think about it. The conditions change, right? The market, the team, the tech available, it's probably all shifted since the legend was there. So what worked brilliantly for them in their time might not be the best approach for you today at all. Plus, just imitating. It erodes authenticity. You're not bringing your full self, your unique viewpoint, your strengths to the table. That dilutes your impact, makes it harder to earn real respect, real loyalty. You end up missing chances for new growth, for evolution, because you're always looking backward, not forward. A legend's path was unique to them, their strengths, their vision, their specific moment. Trying to copy it ignores today's reality and your unique contribution.
Right. And here's where it gets really interesting for me. This isn't just about being different randomly, which can definitely backfire. It's about an active, deliberate act, creation. You're not just filling a space. You are actively forging something new, like a blacksmith, right? Taking a strong metal, maybe inherited metal, but shaping it with heat, skill, intention into something unique, not just polishing the old thing. It implies effort, vision, and a real commitment to what you want to build. Okay, that makes sense. But let's get practical. How does someone actually start making their own path when there's this hugely successful blueprint sitting right there? It's clearly not about disrespecting the legend or throwing out everything they did. So what are the first steps? What's the mindset?
Yeah, that's crucial. It's definitely not about discarding the past or disrespecting the person. It's deeper, more analytical. A powerful way to begin is maybe through a kind of diagnostic process. Figure out, okay, what aspects of their approach were timeless principles and which were context-dependent methods, things that worked then, but maybe not now, not for you. For instance, say the legend was known for relentless innovation. Your path isn't necessarily to innovate in their specific field using their exact techniques. It's about embodying that spirit of innovation in your unique area, adapting that principle to your own strengths, your vision, the current situation. You might ask yourself, okay, what core problem were they really solving? What strengths did they use? And how can I apply my strengths to today's version of that problem, inspired by their spirit but not tied to their exact playbook? It really means bringing your unique view, your skills, your fresh ideas, not trying to squeeze into a mold made for someone else.
That's a really clear framework. So basically, you're saying take the torch, understand why it burns so brightly for them, and then use that flame to light your own way forward. Not just to see the path they already walked. That demands some serious self-awareness, doesn't it? Knowing your strengths, your vision, and having the guts to bring your authentic self. But let's be real for a second. This process isn't exactly a walk in the park. Stepping out of a shadow, especially a really bright one, and carving your own space, that takes serious backbone. From your perspective, what's maybe the biggest or most unexpected challenge people hit when they genuinely try to forge a new way, internally and externally? Because it sounds like it could feel pretty lonely sometimes.
Oh, it absolutely requires immense courage. Deviating from patterns that were successful, especially when set by someone revered, that's tough. And thinking about that forging metaphor again, it implies effort, doesn't it? Skill, heat, pressure. It's not passive, it's a deliberate transformation. Internally, yeah, you might battle constant self-doubt, the fear of failure, that little voice asking, am I doing enough to honor the past? Am I messing this up? It's like being a painter who deeply admires a master, but has to resist just copying their brushstrokes to find their own style. And externally, the challenges are just as real. You can face criticism from people who liked things the old way, people who genuinely think the legend's way was the only way. You might get pushback from stakeholders, team members, maybe even your audience if they're used to something else. Navigating all that uncertainty, managing those expectations, holding firm to your vision when there's pressure, incredibly challenging. But it's precisely that courage, the willingness to risk, to innovate, to stand by your distinct approach that ultimately defines your unique legacy. That's what ensures continued relevance, growth.
That forging process, that's how you shift from being just a successor to maybe becoming a legend in your own right.
That's a great analogy. The painter and the master hits home. Ultimately, this is really about unlocking your own full potential, isn't it? Making your distinct mark. It's about more than just keeping things going. It's about evolving, adapting, creating something new. It's the difference between being just a custodian of the past and being a visionary for the future. So, wrapping this up, what's the big takeaway here? Our deep dive into Forge Your Own Path really seems to show that when you take over from someone great, the real strength isn't in perfectly copying their steps, it's in having the vision and, yeah, the courage to carve out your own unique journey. It's about understanding the deep principles behind their success, sure, but then applying your strengths, your vision, your creativity to now and what's next.
Exactly. And this isn't just for CEOs or world leaders, it applies everywhere. Any situation where you're building on existing success or expectations, taking on a new project at work, leading a volunteer group, even just navigating personal expectations within a family. This wisdom works. It's really an invitation, isn't it, to be authentic, to keep evolving, to define success on your own terms, not let someone else's definition box you in.
So as you go about your week, maybe ask yourself this. What legend's shadow might you be unconsciously walking in right now? And maybe more importantly, what's just one small, deliberate step you could take, maybe even today, to start explicitly forging your own path, even subtly? Perhaps it's questioning a long-held assumption, pitching a new idea, or just consciously bringing more of your unique perspective to something you're involved in. We really hope this deep dive has given you some valuable things to think about. Join us next time for another exploration into the ideas shaping our world.